Welcome back to Chat English, where we help you speak and message with confidence.
Have you ever done this? Your boss is talking very fast, you miss a word, but instead of asking, you just nod and say, "Yes, okay."
Imagine you are in a meeting. Your boss is talking about Q3 deliverables and the Gantt chart. She is speaking quickly. She looks at you and says, "Got it?" You smile, you nod, and she leaves the room. And then the panic hits. Your heart starts racing because you have absolutely no idea what she just said.
I know that feeling so well. When I first started working in an office, I was terrified of looking stupid. I thought if I asked a question, everyone would know I didn't belong there. So I just nodded. And once I completely missed a deadline because I was too scared to say, "I don't understand."
That is a terrible feeling, Dave. But nodding when you don't understand is actually dangerous. It causes big mistakes. Today, we are going to teach you the power recap. You will learn how to stop the conversation politely, how to verify the details you missed, and, my favorite part, how to send a summary message to confirm everything in writing.
I really need this lesson. So let's start with the most difficult part, the interruption. When someone is talking fast, how do you actually stop them without being rude?
It is difficult, especially if you are junior or new, but you must interrupt immediately. If you wait 5 minutes, it is too late. The key is to use softeners.
Softeners, is that like speaking quietly?
Not exactly. Softeners are little phrases that make your interruption sound polite instead of aggressive. If you just say wait or stop, it sounds very rude. But if you say sorry to interrupt, it softens the blow.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. That is a good one. What else can I use?
You can use could you pause for a second? This is great because it shows you are listening, but you just need a moment to catch up.
Could you pause for a second? I like that. It sounds professional. It sounds like I am processing the information, not just confused.
Exactly. It changes the dynamic. You are not lost, you are careful. Another very common one is, before we move on, can I just check something?
Before we move on, that is very useful for meetings when the topic is about to change.
Yes. Let's practice this. Dave, imagine I am your boss. I am going to give you some instructions very fast. I want you to interrupt me using one of these phrases. Are you ready?
I am ready. I am a little nervous, but I'm ready.
Okay. So Dave, for the project next week, we need to finalize the budget by Tuesday, but make sure you check the variances in column D before you send it to marketing, and don't forget to...
Sorry to interrupt, Jessica.
Perfect. You stopped me. And you didn't sound rude at all. You sounded confident.
It felt much better than just sitting there in silence. But okay, I have stopped you. Now what do I say? I can't just say, "I don't understand everything." That sounds weak.
You are right. "I don't understand" is too broad. It makes it sound like you weren't listening. You want to be specific. We call this the verification. You need to verify exactly what you missed.
So instead of saying, "I don't get it," I should ask about a specific thing?
Yes, use the phrase, "Could you clarify?" followed by the specific word or idea. For example, "Could you clarify the date?" Or "Could you clarify what you mean by column D?" Could you clarify? That is a strong verb. It sounds much more professional than "What do you mean?" It is much more professional. Clarify means to make something clear. It implies that the information is complex, not that you are slow.
That is a great distinction. I also hear people use the word elaborate. Is that similar?
Yes, elaborate is a fantastic word. It means to explain more or give more details. You can say, "Could you elaborate on that point?"
Could you elaborate on that point? That is a great phrase for when you understand a general idea, but you need more detail.
Exactly. And if you are really unsure, you can use the paraphrase technique. This is where you say what you think you heard and ask them to confirm it.
Oh, I do this sometimes. I say, "So what you are saying is," and then I repeat it back.
That is perfect. "So what you are saying is," or "just to make sure I'm on the same page."
On the same page. I hear that idiom all the time at work. It means we are thinking the same thing, right?
Yes, being on the same page means having a shared understanding. If you are on page 5 and your boss is on page 10, you are not communicating.
That makes sense. So I can say, "Just to make sure we are on the same page, the deadline is Tuesday?"
Exactly. And this forces the other person to say yes or no. It is very safe. If you are wrong, they will correct you immediately. "No, the deadline is Wednesday." And you saved yourself from a mistake.
That is so much better than guessing. I used to guess all the time. I would leave the meeting thinking, "I think she said Tuesday, but maybe it was Thursday?" And then I would spend the whole day worrying.
Worrying is not working, Dave. We want you to work, not worry. Let's try another role play. I will give you a confusing instruction. I want you to use the verification technique. Ready?
I am ready. Give me your worst fast talker impression.
Okay, Dave, I need you to reach out to the stakeholders about the Q4 projections, but hold off on the visuals until we get the sign-off from legal.
Just to make sure I'm on the same page, you want me to contact the stakeholders now, but wait for legal before making the visuals?
Yes, exactly. See? You paraphrased it perfectly.
I feel relieved just doing that. It takes the pressure off.
It does, and notice what happened. I confirmed you were right. Now you know for sure. You have confidence.
But Jessica, what if the words they use are just unknown, like vocabulary I have never heard before? In construction or tech, there are so many acronyms and slang words.
That happens to native speakers too, Dave. Sometimes I hear a new acronym and I have no idea what it means. In that case, you have to be brave and ask for the definition.
Is it okay to just ask, what does that mean?
You can, but a more polite way is, I'm not familiar with that term.
I'm not familiar with that term. That is nice. It sounds very neutral. It doesn't mean I don't know English. It just means I haven't seen this specific word before.
Exactly. Or you can say, could you specify what X stands for if it is an acronym?
Could you specify? I like that. Specify is another good professional verb.
Yes, specifics are the details. To specify is to give the details. You can also ask, could you give me some specifics on that?
Okay, so we have sorry to interrupt to stop them. We have could you clarify and just to make sure I'm on the same page to verify. This covers the meeting itself, but what happens after the meeting?
This is the most important part, Dave. This is the channel USP, the unique thing we do here at Chat English. We focus on messages because speaking is only half the battle. The real safety net is writing.
The safety net. I like that image, like a net that catches you if you fall.
Exactly. After a meeting where you were confused, or even just a little unsure, you should always send a recap message.
A recap message. Is that like a summary?
Yes, recap is short for recapitulation, which is a big word for summary. To recap means to summarize the main points. You send this to your boss or your team immediately after the conversation.
This sounds like extra work. Why is it so important?
2 reasons. First, it proves you understood. Second, it creates a paper trail. If there is a misunderstanding later, you can point to the message and say, this is what we agreed on.
Ah, the paper trail. That is very valuable. It protects you. So what does this message look like? Is it a formal email?
It can be an email, or it can be a quick message on Slack or Teams. It depends on your company culture, but the structure is the same. You start with a simple opening. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks for the chat. Short and friendly.
Then you use the magic phrase to recap our meeting or just to summarize our discussion.
To recap our meeting. I am writing this down. This is a phrase I can copy and paste every time.
Please do. To recap our meeting, here are the action items. And then, this is critical, you use bullet points.
Bullet points. You mean the little dots?
Yes, do not write a big paragraph. Big blocks of text are hard to read. Use bullet points for clear steps. Action 1, Action 2, deadline.
That looks so organized. It makes me look like I am very on top of things.
It does. Even if you were confused during the meeting, this message makes you look like a project manager. It shows you are organized and diligent.
Diligent. That is a good word. It means hardworking and careful, right?
Yes, a diligent worker checks the details. So let's build a template our listeners can use. Imagine you just had that meeting about the budget and the visuals. How would you write the message?
Okay, subject line, meeting recap.
Perfect, clear and simple.
Then, hi Jessica, thanks for the quick chat.
Good.
To recap, I will contact the stakeholders today regarding Q4.
Excellent.
However, I will wait for legal approval before starting the visuals.
Perfect usage of however to show the condition.
And maybe, please let me know if I missed anything.
That is the perfect closing sentence. Please let me know if I missed anything. It invites them to correct you one last time. It is very humble but professional.
I feel like if I sent that email, I would sleep so much better at night. I wouldn't have to wonder if I understood correctly. If you don't reply saying no, then I know I am safe.
Exactly. Silence is approval. If they don't correct you, you are safe to proceed.
This is a game changer. I used to just walk away and hope for the best.
Hope is not a strategy, Dave. Verification is a strategy.
You know, Jessica, I think there is a big emotional barrier here too. We talked about the phrases, but honestly, the hardest part is the fear of being annoying.
I hear that a lot. I don't want to be the annoying person who asks too many questions. But think about it from the boss's perspective, Dave. If you were a manager, would you prefer an employee who asks 3 questions and gets the job right, or an employee who stays silent and does the job wrong?
Oh, definitely the one who asks. Fixing mistakes takes so much time. If someone does the wrong thing for a week, we lose a week of work.
Exactly. Asking questions is actually a form of respect. You respect the company's time and money enough to ensure you get it right.
That is a great way to reframe it. It is not about me being slow, it is about me respecting the project.
Yes, smart people ask questions. Confident people verify. Only insecure people pretend to know everything.
Only insecure people pretend to know everything. That is powerful. I'm going to remember that the next time I feel my face getting hot in a meeting.
And remember our Chat English motto, communication, not perfection. You don't need perfect grammar to ask for clarification. You just need to be clear.
Right. Even if I just say, sorry, can you repeat? That's better than silence.
It is, but now you have better phrases. Could you clarify? Could you elaborate? Just to make sure we are on the same page.
Those are my 3 new weapons. I feel armed and ready.
Before we continue to some more advanced scenarios, I want to take a quick moment to ask you something, Dave. When you are learning these phrases, do you ever practice them out loud?
Honestly, not enough. I read them, I understand them, but then in the moment, my mouth doesn't want to move.
That's the input-output gap. You have the input, but the output muscle is weak. So let's do a fewer activation moment right now.
Oh, I love these. Let's make everyone practice.
Listeners, I want you to pause the video in a moment. I want you to imagine your boss just finished speaking. You need to stop them politely. I want you to say out loud, "Sorry to interrupt, but could you clarify that last point?"
Sorry to interrupt, but could you clarify that last point? Okay, I'm going to say it too.
Go ahead. Pause now and say it. Sorry to interrupt, but could you clarify that last point?
Did you do it? It feels a bit weird talking to your phone or computer, right? But believe me, your muscle memory needs this.
It really does. If you say it 5 times alone, you will say it once in the meeting. If you say it 0 times alone, you will say 0 times in the meeting.
That is the math of language learning.
Now, speaking of learning, if you are finding these workplace tips helpful, please consider subscribing to Chat English. We release new videos every week that focus specifically on this kind of real-world practical communication.
Yes, and hit the bell icon too. We want to be part of your weekly routine. We want to be your digital colleagues who help you survive the office.
Exactly. Okay, Dave, let's look at a harder scenario. What if the misunderstanding isn't about words, but about tone or intent?
Oh, like when someone sends a message that sounds angry, but maybe they aren't? Or when someone says, that's interesting, but they actually mean that's a bad idea?
Yes, that's interesting trap. In some cultures, interesting means I want to know more. In others, especially in British or polite American corporate culture, interesting can mean I disagree or I think this is wrong.
That is so confusing. How do I verify that? I can't say, do you mean it is stupid?
No, definitely don't say that. But you can verify the implication. You can say, does this align with your vision for the project?
Does this align? That is a very sophisticated question. To align means to line up, to match, right?
Yes. Does this align with our goals? If they say not exactly, then you know interesting meant bad.
That is a very subtle but powerful way to check. What about vague feedback? Like if my boss says, make it pop or make it more dynamic. I hate those words. They mean nothing.
Make it pop, the nightmare of every designer and writer. In this case, you need to ask for examples.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, but let's make it even more professional. Could you show me a reference of what you have in mind?
A reference. That is good. It shifts the burden to them. They have to show you something.
Or offer options. This is the A-B verification. You say, do you mean more colorful or more animated?
Ah, the A-B choice. Do you mean A or do you mean B? This is genius because it forces them to choose. They can't just say, make it pop again.
Exactly. You are guiding them to clarity. You are leading the conversation, even though you are asking the question.
It feels like these verification techniques actually give you control. Usually the person asking questions feels like the weak one, but actually the person asking questions is directing the flow of information.
You nailed it, Dave. The questioner controls the conversation. If you stay silent, you are a passenger. If you ask, do you mean A or B, you are the driver.
I want to be the driver. I am tired of being the passenger in meetings.
Then drive, Dave. Use your softeners, use your verification questions, and use your recap messages.
Let's talk about the recap message again for a second. What if I send the recap and I did misunderstand? What if I write, to recap, the deadline is Tuesday, and the boss replies, no, I said Thursday.
That is the best possible outcome.
What? Getting rejected is the best outcome?
Yes, because you caught the mistake before you did the work. Imagine if you didn't send the message. You would have rushed to finish by Tuesday, stressed yourself out, maybe compromised quality, only to find out you had 2 more days. Or worse, you thought it was Thursday and missed the Tuesday deadline.
Okay, I see your point. The correction feels embarrassing for a second, but it saves hours of pain later.
And honestly, it isn't embarrassing. When I receive a recap message from a colleague that has a mistake, I don't think they are stupid. I think, oh, glad we caught that. Thanks for checking.
Thanks for checking. That is the vibe we want.
So if they correct you, how do you reply? You don't need to apologize profusely. You don't need to say, I am so sorry, I am terrible at English.
Please don't say that. It breaks my heart when I see those messages.
Just say, thanks for the clarification. Noted.
Noted. One word. So powerful.
Or, understood. I have updated my notes.
I have updated my notes. That sounds incredibly professional. It implies you have a system. You are a person with notes.
Be the person with notes, Dave. Everyone respects the person with notes.
I am going to buy a new notebook today just to be that person.
Good idea. Now, I want to address one more specific situation, the conference call, or the Zoom call.
The dreaded Zoom call, where the audio cuts out and people talk over each other and you can't see lips moving.
It is the hardest environment for listening, and the fake nod is so easy on Zoom. You just stare at the camera and smile.
I have done the frozen face trick, where I pretend the internet is bad so I don't have to answer. I am not proud of it.
We have all been there. But on Zoom, you have a secret weapon, the chat box.
The chat box, of course, it's right there.
If you don't feel confident interrupting verbally because the audio is laggy, you can type your verification.
What do you type? I didn't hear that?
You can type, could you please repeat that last metric? Or, just to confirm, deadline is Tuesday?
That is so much less scary than speaking. You can type it, check your spelling, and then hit enter.
And it doesn't interrupt the flow as much. The speaker can finish their thought and then glance at the chat. Oh, I see a question from Dave about the deadline. Yes, Dave, it is Tuesday.
It is passive interruption. I love it. It's perfect for introverts or when the connection is bad.
Use the tools you have. If speaking is hard, use the chat. If memory is hard, use the notes. If understanding is hard, use the recap.
We really have no excuse to be confused anymore. We have a toolkit.
We do. And remember, this takes practice. You won't be perfect tomorrow. You might still do the fake nod once or twice.
I probably will. Old habits die hard.
But catch yourself. When you feel your head nodding and your brain is saying, I don't know, trigger the alarm. Stop. Stop.
Ask. Verify.
Exactly. Even if you just ask one question in your next meeting, that is a victory.
One question. I can do that. I can set a goal. In the 10 a.m. meeting, I will ask one clarification question.
That is a fantastic specific goal. Small steps lead to big confidence.
And you know what helps with confidence? Knowing that other people are struggling with the same thing. I bet our listeners have some great stories about misunderstandings.
I am sure they do. Misunderstandings are often funny afterwards. At the time, they are scary, but later they are just stories.
Like the time I brought my boss a coffee, but he actually asked for a copy.
Oh no, did he drink it?
He did. He was confused, but he drank it. But I should have verified. Just to clarify, do you need a beverage or a photocopy?
That would have been a very funny verification question. But yes, that is a perfect example. A simple, did you say coffee or copy, would have solved it.
So we have covered a lot today. We have the interruption phrases, the verification questions, the recap message template, and the Zoom chat strategy.
It is a complete system. You are not just learning English words. You are learning a professional workflow.
A workflow. I like that. It is a process. Step 1, step 2, step 3.
And the emotional core of this workflow is bravery. It takes a little bit of courage to say, sorry to interrupt.
Be brave. That was the message in our last video too. Simple words and being brave.
It is the truth. The grammar doesn't matter if you don't have the courage to use it.
But the recap message requires less bravery, right? Because you can write it slowly at your desk.
Exactly. That is why I love it for our community. It plays to your strengths. You can take your time, use a dictionary, check your spelling, and then send it. It turns a weakness, listening speed, into a strength, written documentation.
That is such a smart strategy. Don't fight on the enemy's turf. If fast speaking is hard, move the battle to written text where you can win.
Move the battle to written text. Dave, you are full of wisdom today.
I am just paraphrasing what you taught me. I am verifying.
You are learning fast.
So, Jessica, before we wrap up, can we just do a quick lightning round? I will give you a situation and you give me the one best phrase to use.
Lightning round. I am ready.
Situation 1. The audio cuts out on a call and you miss a whole sentence.
Sorry, you cut out for a second. Could you repeat that?
Situation 2. They use a slang word you don't know.
I'm not familiar with that term. Could you explain?
Situation 3. You want to confirm a specific number or date.
Just to confirm, did you say 50 or 15?
Situation 4. You want to end the meeting and confirm everything is clear.
Thanks, everyone. I'll send a quick recap message to summarize our next steps.
Boom. That is the toolkit right there. If you just memorize those 4 phrases, you are safe in 90% of situations.
Absolutely. Write them on a sticky note and put it on your monitor. Sorry you cut out. I'm not familiar with that. Just to confirm, I'll send a recap.
I am looking at my monitor right now, imagining that sticky note. It feels like a shield.
It is a shield and a sword. It protects you and cuts through confusion.
Okay, I think we have given our listeners a lot to think about. My brain is full. I need to recap this episode for myself.
Yell, you are in luck because we are at the end. But before we go, we have a question for you, the listeners.
Yes, we want to hear from you in the comments, and we want to use the grammar we practiced today.
Here is the question. What is the hardest thing to understand in English at your work? Is it fast talkers, accents, or maybe phone calls?
Oh, good question. For me, it is definitely accents on a bad phone line.
Tell us in the comments below. You can say, the hardest thing for me is, or I struggle with.
It is a great way to practice and also to see that you are not alone. I bet a lot of people will say fast talkers.
I agree. Reading your comments is the best part of our day. We really love seeing your stories and your progress.
We do. It makes this feel like a real community, not just a video.
And if you found this useful, please share this video with a colleague. Maybe share it with your Dave at work who keeps bringing you coffee instead of copies.
Hey, I only did that once, but yes, share it with your work friends. It might save them from a big mistake.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, stop the fake nod, ask the question, send the recap.
Be brave, be diligent, and get it in writing.
Stay safe in your meetings and confident in your messages. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.